Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is Neha, and in today's video I'm going to talk you through my interview experience with a lot of these colleges that fall under tier 2 category. But before we begin, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. अपने से बहुत सारे लोगों ने अभी तक subscribe नहीं किया है, पता नहीं क्यों, तो please कर दो because I'm going to be putting out one video every single week on a Saturday 8 PM. So make sure that you come and stick by. And अभी जो है I'm going to do a full marathon on MBA and colleges because I know that a lot of you guys are appearing for it. Some people might eventually want to know more about it. So मैं सोच रही हूँ कि ये evergreen videos में बनाऊँगी जिसमें I will share my personal tips on how I came from 0 to 1 because in CAT I flunked crazy, and then ZAT ke through I was able to crack a few of these colleges, and I just wanted to take you through my journey. So today I'm going to be talking about BIM Trichy, FORE, IMI, Flame and SIMC, and KJ Somaya Velankar ke liye I will put a separate video because I think ki Mumbai colleges ke liye I just want to do a separate one, and then uske baad I'll tell you why I chose what college, some interview tips, some CAT tips, you know, SNAP and MAT. तो मैं बहुत सारी चीज़ें cover करूँगी, and I'm going to do a full back-to-back marathon on just MBA and MBA colleges. So make sure that you subscribe. I'm going to put a playlist also down below for you. तो मैं बहुत मेहनत करके सोच रही हूँ कि एक तो मैं से बना ही दूँ because I love helping out people and I know कि मुझे कितना struggle हुआ है to reach where I am. Because trust me, when it comes to math and logical reasoning, this girl just goes So I'm someone who's extremely analytical, visual, so मतलब मेरा फोटे काफ़ी अलग है, and these tests really test something different, you know, तो ये काफ़ी technical and fundamental जाते हैं. So for someone like me, cracking colleges like GIM is a big thing, while for others I know that it is like nothing, but for me it's something, and I want to share my journey. And I also want to tell you all that it's okay guys, मतलब बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि tier 1 नहीं मिला तो ज़िंदगी ख़त्म हो गई. Sorry about that, but I think मैंने intro कुछ ज़्यादा ही लंबा कर दिया है, so let's just quickly get right into this. So starting with BIM Trichy, so I have a few notes over here. I just want to cover everything and make sure that you all know how it exactly went down for me. So I'm recollecting a lot of these because मैंने on the spot videos नहीं बनाए हैं, so just bear with me, and I'll try to put a lot of information here or also in the description box if I find something. So yeah, for BIM Trichy it was one of the longest sessions. Everything was online for me. Now this college is in Trichy, which is in Tamil Nadu, and they are known for their marketing program. They have a lot of simulations that happen over there, and they take pride in having Bloomberg terminals, and they are also supported by the CM of Tamil Nadu. They have a fellowship program and all that. So in Tamil Nadu specifically, it's one of the really good colleges, MBA colleges, but on a country level it is somewhere in like 2.5 tier, I may say, or maybe, you know, just like above tier 3. So I had applied over there, and it was the longest interview session. We had our orientation, then there was a document verification, and then there was a one-on-one interview. They did not have a group discussion round. In the orientation they took you through everything, and in the documentation process they were asking you or cross-checking with you on all of your percentages and mark sheets and stuff. So make sure that you have that in handy in case you forget your own percentage or when you graduated, because a lot of people have graduated in the year 2017 and stuff like that as well. So just make sure that you have that handy. Then coming to the interview. So the interview was extremely technical in my case. So in a lot of interviews, people ask me about my startup, you know, and why am I doing MBA. They just want to understand the main crux of why this girl is coming here when she's already gained so much experience through her startup, you know, because that's, you know, essentially what we're trying to teach as well. But she has personal experience, real life experience, so why does she want to do MBA now? Which is a valid question. But here they were asking about a lot of different things which were not really in my safe area. So obviously first they asked me to introduce myself. From there we went to Carnival, what I had done with Nika, and again, like, why really MBA after all of these things, why MBA? So just make sure that whenever you're talking, you be brief, because in my case, I have a habit of rambling. I don't know when to stop. I talk a lot. As you saw in the introduction also, I kept yapping until I had to tell myself, okay, now we need to stop. Unless I have a structure in mind, I have a habit of just keep yapping away until someone stops me, or until I know that they're satisfied with my answer. So he samne se said, Sneha, just be brief. So I realized that, okay, I'm just talking too much. So that's one suggestion. Other than that, just be extremely authentic. So they asked me a bunch of technical questions like what is sensory marketing, what is neuroscience marketing, and what is the conversion rate of a retail store. I mean, I have never worked in a retail store. Never did I ever think of Googling the conversion rate of a retail store. So I told them in their face that, sir, I am not aware. So, I'm not really sure. And I was extremely honest. I didn't even do any tukka. I did not shoot in the dark, because I knew कि मुझे कुछ नहीं पता है. Like, why should I just randomly throw a number? It's not required, so just be honest. So that's what I did, and I was extremely honest about it, and I think they liked that. I was like, shit, it's the first time that I didn't know what to say in the interview, but it's okay, we converted the college. So that's that. And it's good if you have examples, because they wanted to know a lot of examples. I also was asked one question on branding, like, tell me a brand that you think is doing great with their branding, any campaign. So I had mentioned a lot of beauty brands, and I told them that my area of expertise, or my interest, or the fact that I worked at Nika, whatever it is, कि मेरा यही space रहा है. So I have studied a lot about it, and these are some brands that I think are doing amazingly. So while giving examples, I was also talking about how this particular brand does this style of marketing, or versus like how Amul does, like moment marketing, whatever. So when you know these terms like moment marketing, sensory marketing, this marketing, that marketing, above the line, below the line, so they get really happy that, okay, she has technical knowledge. That was my BIM Trichy interview. Started at 1:30 and ended at 4:30. During this time, I also had to go for a Honey Singh concert. So I remember I was like, dude, I need to quickly do this. I changed and I just rushed. I did not have my lunch that day, nothing. I just ran. So that was BIM Trichy. After that came Flame University. So Flame University's interview I have already shown in depth. I've given you all tips also, and I've recorded my entire interview for you all. I'm going to put that linked over here, so do check that out. Then coming to SIMC, which is a college that I got through Snap. My Snap percentage was again really shitty, but this college I think comes in tier 3 almost from the Symbiosis umbrella. So SIMC is of course number 1, but uske liye you need crazy marks. You need above 48 out of 60, I think. So yeah, it's a little competitive. I got really bad marks, guys. Mine was 17.5. It was so bad, and I was not expecting any college to call me, but SIMC did, and this is their communications program. So since I am into marketing and communications, I thought I'll just apply for this one as well. But one great thing about this college is that during their orientation, which happens before the interview, they come and tell you exactly what to expect from the program, because I believe they know that a lot of people apply to this as a backup or with expectations of some other outcome, that this is going to be a typical MBA college, but it's not that. It's completely communication based. They also have subjects like filmmaking and stuff like that, which is not something that everyone wants to do. So that is something, and they were extremely honest about what to expect in terms of the average package, what can you expect from the college, from the professors, and they made it crystal clear so that later on you don't come back and question them, or you don't say that you're not satisfied with the program. So the director herself comes and kind of takes you through the entire thing. Then after that comes the interview. So this happened I think 2-3 days later for me, and it was completely student run, which was absolutely fantastic. They obviously had some professor intervention, but mostly it was student driven, and the students made you feel extremely at home, and I really liked that initiative. It reminded me of my undergraduate college as well, where one of the reasons why I chose to go to HR college was because I saw how they empower their students, and there's no spoon feeding that happens. Like, you build yourself and you basically kind of like build your personality while you're given these opportunities, right? So I really like that about SIMC, and they had a group discussion, and oh my god, so in the group discussion there was a colonel for me who was kind of judging the entire thing along with another professor. Honestly, it was it's funny because for a group discussion, right, you would ideally have your pen and paper along with you, but for some reason, since they had not mentioned anything about it on the email, and since I just thought that maybe because it's proacted or whatever, like, you know, it is invigilated, I can't keep things around me because anyone can write, you know, certain things in pen and paper and just keep them beside themselves. So I did not want to come under that scrutiny, so I did not. So I asked them, can you just give me a second, sir, to collect my pen and paper? And he got so pissed. He was like, you know, this is not acceptable in a generation where you guys have your phones around. You guys can't have a pen and paper knowing that you have an interview and stuff like that. And I was like, bro, you know, like, my intention was not that. In fact, I did not want to come under the lines of cheating or whatever, so that's there. And the funny thing is that I usually have a pen and paper beside my table, and it was there, but since, first of all, it's my bad that I forgot about the interview ki mera subah hai, and I just literally went to the washroom, changed, wore my outfit, and I just sat, like, I was half asleep. I had just woken up, so I could not even spot things around me, so it was given in a frenzy almost. But I take that on me, it was my bad. I think it was one of the most stimulating discussions I had with people, and the topic, I think, was on work hours. Yeah, this has been a topic of interest right now on social also, where the likes of Narayan Murthy and others have suggested that, you know, you should be working and this and that, and that equates to productivity, stuff like that. So everyone was giving their own point of view, and it went on really nicely. I really enjoyed that discussion. After that came the interview, and the interview was one of the most chill interviews. They had one alumni and one professor, and they were so nice, so welcoming, and they just wanted to know you for you. There was no grilling, no technical questions. They just wanted to know who you are, what you've done, what you might probably bring to the table, and you know, what are your expectations. So knowing my history, they directly asked me at the end, you know, what my expectations were in terms of package. And when I told them, they gave me some reality checks. They told me that at SIMC a lot of agencies come, a lot of startups come, so they are not able to offer the kind of package that, you know, you are looking at. So just make sure that you know what you're signing up for in case you say yes to us. And it was a really nice discussion. In fact, when I entered, they asked me, you know, how I'm doing and everything. I told them I just gave my group discussion. It was a very interesting topic. I had this perspective, and they were like, yeah, please tell us more about it. So it just started so naturally like this, and it went on very seamlessly. So this was one of the most relaxed interviews that I had. I felt like myself, and really, like, kudos to that. They were really welcoming and not at all intimidating. So yeah, SIMC is also converted, but I'm not going to be taking it because I don't want to get into an agency role. I do not want to get into client servicing like that. I want to be in a typical FMCG setup, you know, managing the brand and taking it from 0 to 1 or 100 to 1000, whatever it is. So that's my intention, and I'm very clear about it. Then came IMI Bhubaneshwar. So I had applied to IMI Delhi, Bhubaneswar and the likes, but I think for Delhi the cutoff is a little high. Maybe I did not get a call for that. I got for Bhubaneswar, and when it came to Bhubaneswar, right, we did not have a group discussion. It was interview directly, and I was the first one to give the interview. So I came in and I was redirected to a room where we had an industrial specialist and a professor who sat with me and took the interview. So they were extremely clear, like they had their questions set in stone, and they just wanted to know very briefly what it is. So to give you some perspective, they were like, why do you want to do MBA? Give us 3 reasons. And they wanted exactly 3 distinct reasons. If I was going or deviating from the topic, if I was giving a generic answer, they were not okay. They kept asking me to come back and give them exactly what it is. So I had mentioned, you know, when I was doing my business or during NICA days also, I did not know how to analyze data. You know, we were not I can't say thought, but we were not really given that training. I don't know how to understand customer perception. You do things out of instinct, but in terms of taking a calculative decision, I really don't know how to understand that, or customer psychology. So you give like 2-3 different reasons and why a MBA can help you in that sense. So you need to do your homework right, because if you don't, then you will probably just be kind of like running around the bush, and they don't want that. They are extremely clear. And then again, some achievements and some weakness, this, that. So again, something which is very personal to you, something which is personal to what you've done before, and this is different for everybody. In case you have not done any internship or work before, they will ask you things which is on a college level and subject level, which is your favorite subject, why was that your favorite subject, stuff like that. So just make sure that you know yourself the best. Okay, at least like 3 distinct things that maybe set you apart, your 3 points of weakness, your strengths, your 3 achievements, or maybe your number 1 achievement. You need to know what it is that you want to present, because ultimately you are selling yourself. You are packaging yourself and selling yourself. So you need to know what it is that you can offer that really sets you apart, or that gives them the confidence that you have different experiences that can contribute in the overall growth of your cohort. And be extremely particular. Okay, like please, this is something that I learned, and it gives you more brownie points. So yeah, they also at the end of it told me that since I was looking at FMCG, I was looking at beauty, wellness industry in particular, they said that those brands do not come to IMI Bhubaneshwar. And here you will find more like banking, finance sector roles, or companies rather. They gave me that reality check, and they also mentioned how the average age of the students who are going to be with you are 24 and you're 26. So that's also something to consider. And they again gave me some few reality checks, and they left the decision on to me. I thought, knowing that what is it that I want, they might reject me on the spot कि किसी और को इसका seat दे देते हैं, maybe she does not fit in. But I converted it. I got an email saying that I have converted it, but given that they gave me a reality check, they told me what's exactly happening, I think that's really, really nice of them, and that helped me in my decision. Then finally comes FORE. Now FORE School of Management, I'm going to be putting a vlog. I've already put one, you can just check it out, in which I have documented a little bit of that interview. I had just asked them a question interview. I could not really take a full download of, but they had 2 rounds. One was, no, they did not have 2 rounds, sorry. So with FORE, they had an orientation where I'll ask them a question, and then after that they had an interview directly after like 15 minutes. My interview went on for 15 minutes only. They had multiple slots, and they were extremely like going slot wise, and they were very, very punctual. When it came to FORE, first there was an extempore, right? So over there they gave me a topic and they asked me to talk about it. I think the interview was first or the extempore. I think the interview was first, but irrespective, both of them will happen at the same time. So extempore mein, they asked me whether academic scores are the best indicator to understand a person's intelligence. So you had to talk about it. You had 30 seconds to prepare and you had a minute to talk. And I started and I rambled and I couldn't really conclude. So I did not ramble a lot. I had few points in place, but I could not articulate them well. I thought I had some more time on me, but I did not clearly. They didn't even give me a hint ki itna time bacha, itna nahi. So when leaving, I told them, I should have also turned on my timer. They said, no, but we already time you, so you don't have to turn on. I'm like, this could have been for my sake so that I could structure my thoughts well. And I think they liked that because I converted FORE also. So that was one. So again, when I talk to these interviewers, I talk to them very candidly and I really tell them what's going through my mind. I don't be rigid. I stay extremely relaxed and as I am, because anxiety and stress is not going to take us anywhere. You might as well just show them who you are and let them see whether you fit the culture of the college. And mostly it's a yes, because they want people who can speak their minds out, who are not arrogant while they're saying things, who know exactly what they're looking at and where their thought process is at, So I think they like the fact that I at least thought about this, ki agar maine apna chalu kiya, I could have structured it well. So this is something that I'm assuming that they might have liked, but I mean, if you were in their shoes, wouldn't you also like that? You know, कोई तो इतना सोच रहा है तो लोग सोचते ही नहीं है, right? So that's there. Then उसके अलावा in the interview, they asked me very basic questions. Introduce yourself, why MBA, and strength and weakness. Like no technical, you know, what is this, what is that, nothing of that sort. I think in that there was this one panelist, although, who asked me about the financials of Carnival. So I have not been asked about the financials because I mainly steer the interview towards business development and marketing, because that was what I was doing. My partner was managing finances, but here I was thrown this question, and being the founder, you need to know these things. It's just that at the time I did not take any interest, and now I've slowly started to take interest. But again, like if you ask me, I'm not someone who can give you like numbers through and through. Give me 2 minutes and I'll quickly do the math and tell you stuff like that. So he understood, and I also told him that this was not my forte. Again, I just wanted to put it out there so that they know that, you know, I'm not stupid. I really did not care at the time. And that was a choice that I made back in 2020. So they asked me about what is, you know, the biggest expense of the company. They asked me, you know, what is your net profit, what is operational cost, or operational percentage, gross profit, this, that, like a lot of like, you know, numbers, and I was just like shooting in the dark. I just told them कि this is why I said this, because मैंने बोला था कि हमारा biggest expense shipping है. He's like, वो biggest expense shipping है, what about your purchases, aren't that your biggest expense? Then I said, but sir, purchases तो comes before gross profit in the expense, because in my head accounts में जो हमको सिखाया था 10th standard में, your expenses are all of your petty cash हो गया, ना shipping, ना logistics, ना this, that. So I was under the impression कि जो भी gross profit के बाद वाली expense है मुझे वो बोलना है, तो उसमें तो shipping ही मेरा सबसे ज़्यादा expense था. तो that is not something that he was looking at, तो थोड़ा सा वो हो गया. But I told him कि क्यों मैंने ये बोला, so he understood. Then उसके बाद I think in one of the interviews, I think BIM Trichy only, no, it was IMI, sorry, IMI में they had asked me कि the industrial person, you know, the specialist, she was like कि input output processes क्या है तुम्हारे business के, like what are your essentials. And I was like, dude, मतलब input output, मतलब like I didn't know how to say it in a very organized way, but I shot in the dark, and I was like, input matlab, you know, your raw material, this, that, and then processing matlab ye, and then output is shipping, customer care, you know, stuff like that I had put across. But yeah, aisa bhi पूछते हैं. So that was there. Now coming to again FORE. So this was one of the challenges in my interview, because everything else was fine. I think here I was brief also. I spoke about Carnival, I spoke about Nykaa. They were interested in Carnival, they wanted to know Carnival numbers, and मैंने अपना बताया. Luckily I was not going haywire, and luckily I didn't say ki I don't know. That is like the last thing I would want to do. And I converted FORE also. So these are all the colleges that I applied to and converted. And I'm confused between FORE, KJ Somaya if that happens, and GIM mostly. And even there's Great Lakes, sorry. So Great Lakes is also happening 28th of March is when my interview is. So let's see how that goes. But I think my bias a little bit is on GIM, because I went over there, my heart is there. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Other than that, I hope this video helped you and it gave you some perspective on the kind of questions that were asked. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, then definitely give it a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for some more personal MBA journey, MBA related content for a bit. And I'll see you guys super soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.